Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. After an All-Pro season, CeeDee Lamb intends to hold out for a new contract. There was a chance that CeeDee Lamb would be absent at the start of the Dallas Cowboys' return to Oxnard for 2024 training camp, considering he began his official holdout in June by not being present for mandatory minicamp. That has now spilled over into late July as he and the organization continue to hammer out the details of a new contract. Lamb, 25, is coming off of a record-breaking season, and he's proven himself not simply the best receiver in Dallas, but arguably the best in the entire NFL at the position. The most prominent recent Cowboys holdout was perennial All-Pro right guard Zach Martin, who made his appearance days into camp after his deal was successfully renegotiated. And though Martin was subject to sizable fines for his absence that were unforgivable, per the league, the CBA allows for any player on a contract to have his forgiven by the club if the Cowboys were to exercise that right. Until the Pro Bowler appears on the practice field, having worked plenty this offseason with fellow All-Pro and Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott off-site, it will be incumbent upon others like Jalen Tolbert, Jalen Brooks, Kavonde Turpin and rookie 6th-round pick Ryan Flournoy, among others, to take advantage of the added opportunities to show what they can do in the battle royale at the position behind Lamb and Brandon Cooks. Going into year 3 and fresh off a second-team All-Pro nomination, offensive lineman Tyler Smith was the first one off the bus to speak with the media as the team mentally prepares to hit the field later this week and Smith himself prepares to take on a larger role. "It's huge for me stepping into that leadership role," Smith said. Offensive line coach Mike Solari, his expectations, his philosophy, just bringing the younger guys like Tyler, Guyton, and Mate, Thomas, up to speed on that. Just being that leader for them and showing them the ropes. It was just 2 summers ago when Tyler Smith arrived at training camp for the first time as a rookie, as guys like Tyron Smith, Terrence Steele and Zach Martin were all available for him to learn from going into the league. Now, Smith is taking it upon himself to pass down that same knowledge during the team's time in Oxnard to 2 new starters on the offensive line that will be on either shoulder of him. "Being in the O-line room, being around the great guys that I have been around," he said. "They imparted on me a lot of knowledge. It's my job to pass that knowledge on and continue to make sure that the standard of our room is held long after I'm gone and especially while I'm here." While it's a different year under different circumstances, first-round pick Tyler Guyton is walking into a similar situation that Tyler Smith was walking into 2 years back, but this time with arguably more pressure considering he will be needed up front as early as week 1. For Smith, he is relishing the opportunity to help bring Guyton along over the course of the next few weeks. "He makes it so easy, he's already a hard worker," he said. "He's eager to learn. Going over the playbook and those things. I think the biggest thing for us is being consistent and continuing to put in the extra work when we need to so we can be as good as we can be as a left side." Normally, there is an optimism surrounding the beginning of Dallas Cowboys training camp with hope abounding that this will finally be the year they end their Super Bowl drought. Instead, there is a lack of buzz after an offseason with more key personnel losses than arrivals, as well as the uncertainty of the contract talks involving Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons. The Cowboys appear further away from ending the Super Bowl drought that is closing in on 30 years than they were in January. A cynicism has surfaced among the fan base that nothing that happens from the Oxnard, California, practice fields through the final regular season game a few days into 2025 against the Washington Commanders matters. They simply do not want to be burned again. Parsons said people are definitely going to be very surprised how good we really are. Even outside of the star, the Cowboys carry expectations. ESPN Analytics ranks the Cowboys as the 3rd best team in the NFC, behind the San Francisco 49ers and Detroit Lions. But time is running out on this group. Guard Zach Martin and defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence, the longest-tenured Cowboys, drafted in the first and second rounds, respectively, in 2014, are in the final years of their contracts. If Prescott does not re-sign, then the Cowboys' search will need more of the good fortune they received in finding their last two starters, Prescott in the fourth round and Tony Romo as an undrafted free agent. And then there is the possibility of a new coaching staff. For the moment, all of that can wait as the Cowboys begin training camp. "You don't just win games with just talent," Prescott said. "And you don't win games on paper, and talent is really not decided on paper. So I understand what it looks like, what it may look like from that side, understanding the lack of moves that get done. It creates that great conversation. I'm confident in the men we have, honestly." The CeeDee Lamb contract situation has everyone a little concerned. One of the best receivers in the NFL, Lamb is seeking a new deal instead of playing the 2024 season on his fifth-year option from his rookie deal. Dallas has paid players in this situation in the past, Ezekiel Elliott, Zach Martin, but the Cowboys also have to worry about a potential Dak Prescott extension down the line that could make it hard to pay everyone. Oddsmakers haven't changed the Cowboys' odds for the 2024 season just yet, as Lamb is still on the roster, but there is a little concern when it comes to their win total. Based on these odds, the Cowboys have an implied probability of 64.29% that they'll fall short of 11 wins in the 2024 season. That should come as a little bit of a shock, as Dallas has won 12 games in 3 straight seasons under head coach Mike McCarthy. So, Vegas is expecting quite the step back from the Cowboys, who are also no longer favored to win the NFC East. It's a little early to hit any kind of panic button for Dallas, but there is clearly some sentiment from oddsmakers that the Cowboys won't be as good in 2024 as they were last season. The Dallas Cowboys have been making headlines all season, but not necessarily for positive reasons. While they have not had to deal with the legal and social drama that some Kansas City Chiefs players have brought upon themselves, they have had plenty of internal questions that have creeped into the realm of public knowledge. For instance, there have been multiple reports of tension between owner Jerry Jones and head coach Mike McCarthy. The former Green Bay Packers head coach was not given a contract extension after the Cowboys' blowout loss to McCarthy's old team in the wild card round of the NFL playoffs, making him a lame duck coach this year. Jones has not exactly added great talent to the roster this offseason, making McCarthy's outlook for success in 2024 dubious at best. In addition to this conflict, the Cowboys have had some complicated contract negotiations with 3 of their biggest stars. Wide receiver CeeDee Lamb is officially holding out of training camp as he continues his quest for a new deal. Micah Parsons is due for a major extension as well, though he is present at camp. The Dallas Cowboys have also been trying to extend quarterback Dak Prescott. Another high-profile contract negotiation that Dallas has undertaken this offseason is that of Pro Bowl quarterback Dak Prescott. Last season, Prescott finished second in NFL MVP voting after completing 69.5% of his passes for 4,516 yards, 36 touchdowns, which led the league, just 9 interceptions, and a 105.9 passer rating. Over the course of the offseason, 2 other NFL quarterbacks inked lucrative contracts that many believe have driven up Prescott's asking price. The Detroit Lions gave Jared Goff $53 million per year over 4 years, and the Jacksonville Jaguars gave Trevor Lawrence $55 million over 5 years. Add in that Packers quarterback Jordan Love is expected to get a contract extension of his own that will be worth more than what Lawrence is making, and Prescott's asking price could go even higher. One NFL insider certainly thinks that it will. Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott could become the first NFL player to make $60 million a year. According to NFL insider Diana Rossini, Prescott likely will not sign his contract until after Love does in Green Bay, which could take a few weeks. When Prescott does get his deal, it could be to be richest offer in contract history. However, Love might only hold that title for a few weeks. That's because the Dallas Cowboys are working hard to get Dak Prescott's deal done. Prescott could be the first quarterback to break the $60 million per year barrier. The $60 million per year number is one that has been thrown around for a few weeks now regarding Prescott. It is interesting, though, that it keeps on coming up. If that is the figure that he is centered on, it is no wonder it is taking so long for the two sides to come to an agreement.